Hey there, Hofstra fans. Welcome inside the WB Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. Nick Hofstra joined each and every week by the head coach of the Hofstra Pride women's basketball team, Coach Steveskey. Coach, welcome back.
Hey, thanks. I should tell you congratulations on winning your basketball game last night, Monday night. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
First time ever in the history of radio guys beat the alumni, right?
It feels like that. I can't give you the exact record of when we last won, but either way, thank you for the victory.
Yeah, you're welcome. Connor City didn't score, but I was helping him work on his jump shot a little bit.
Let's look at this past week. Two games, you split both of them. We'll start against James Madison on Friday, a 71-54 loss, and a game that was only a 2-point game at the half. Ashley Durant gets 20 points for you, but Jasmine Guafney on the other end, she had 34 and 13 for the Dukes. And just take us through what happened on Friday.
Well, I talked to a lot of you guys about this, obviously, and Connor today on the radio. The issue for me personally, what I was most unhappy with, we didn't compete for the whole 40 minutes. And if you dissect it down, the last 3 or so minutes in the third quarter, and then, midway through the fourth quarter where we just kind of unraveled a little bit. And obviously, they put pressure on us. That's what, good teams do. And they tried to force us, not let us do what we wanted to do. But the margin was so small. If you could just maintain a little bit more control, a little bit more discipline, more patience in what we need to do. So I think we've got a good recipe. We know what they're going to bring. Obviously, Mickens plays her best game of her entire career. She turns right around. I think at Northeastern has like 1 or 2 points. You're going to expect what you can expect out of Guatney completely. She turns around, has 18 at Northeastern, but they played their best, and that's great. That we bring out the best in people. So now we know what their best is. And we got a lot of good basketball for us to continue to play. So, that's what we've got to do now. We've got to finish up at William & Mary here and then quick turnaround and play them again. So, nice opportunity to play a little bit better.
And over the past stretch of games, you've emphasized wanting this team being better rebounding. And in that game, they out-rebounded you by, I believe it was 11, and they had 15 offensive rebounds. So part of what I guess played into that would have to be them just getting themselves their own second chance opportunities.
Yeah, their role players do what they do, right? Griffin does a good job of nestling in. She's not you'd like to have somebody like that on your team. She doesn't stand still. She goes after the rebound. She leaves from whether it's the top of the key or the corner elbow, and she's on. I talked about that during a timeout. I was like, they're triangle rebounding. They're moving. They're not going to just leave it by chance. They know the shots are coming up by Guatney, right?
Yep.
So, in an offense where it's a little bit more dominated by 1 or 2 people, everybody knows their role. So those guys are just, if they're going to get any gravy train, they're going to get it off the misses. So, we just got to be more pointed, a lot more pointed of understanding that. And you can't watch. We all have a tendency to put our head up. You watch a lot of basketball, you see a lot of the same tendencies. But the great teams find out a way, to rebound, to make a point, to not lose contact with your man. And, those moment of mental lapses, where you're letting the game kind of overwhelm you and then you let go on the defensive end, it really can affect an outcome.
And you didn't have much to hang on to that game because Sunday you go to Towson and you beat up the Towson Tigers 74-56. Angie White, 14 and 20 rebounds for her. You had Darius Falk, she had 13.7 assists. Asia Jackson, 15 points off the bench. So a nice rebound victory after a tough pill to swallow on Friday.
Well, it is, and I think they were, they saw, the mistakes that they made, and we talked a lot about it right after the game. Why? Because we didn't have time. You don't have time on a quick turnaround to bring that up the next day on Saturday. So we had to just really talk about those moments of lapses. And even throughout the Towson game, it was 23-20 for several possessions in a row. And in that timeout, I was just hitting home about, to play at your best, you can't waste these possessions. We had a lot of foolish turnovers in that first half, and we did a much better job in the second half. But I think sometimes it just really has to be, pointed out that we need to be kind of executing on some cylinders in these next couple of weeks, really tighten up to get on those cylinders to be able to beat, some of the teams that we got on our schedule here as we finish up in this February. But on a serious comment, just proud. We have 4 people in double figures. Angie has just a phenomenal game. Everybody's kind of covering each other. Darius had a great second half. I was pretty hard on her and at halftime, and she's such a leader for this team. And I was just telling her, we go as you go. You can't have stars in your eyes. You can't get, be sweating over something that that happened to you. You just really got to get out there and will us to win. And I felt like she just had a great second half. And I thought Kelly was just talking on the floor and just really doing those kind of things to help us do well. And so I was just really proud. It was a total team effort, completely to have a big bounce back after. Something that we wanted to play better on Friday night. We wanted to give it a much better shot, than we we did, and I think everybody was just disappointed in our performance.
And just looking at that second half, you go down, I believe it was 2 at the half, and you
Right.
come out, outscore Tigers 25-8 in the third quarter. So you're talking about in the locker room, want to see more from this team after a game on Friday where in the second half that the level of play didn't elevate
Right.
where it did in this game on Sunday.
Right, yeah, I mean, yeah, it is, I mean, that's why the game is a weird game, right, but, we just knew what we needed to do, and we pointed out in the locker room at Towson, and they just came out and just had like I said, a phenomenal third quarter, and just, did what we're capable of doing. But yeah, it's right, that's why it's always, it's different, each team you play. And it doesn't matter what Towson's record is, because that Towson's always tough. I mean, they play JMU to a 3-point game, and, it's just, there's nothing you can sleep on in this league at all.
Now let's look at the Virginia trip coming up. William Mary first on Friday, 4-7 in conference. You beat them by 30 just in mid-January, but
Yeah.
Kaplan Arena, not an easy place to play. Lost by 1 there last season. So for a team in William Mary that has not had the type of play they wanted in conference, still a tough place to go at William Mary.
Well, the biggest issue with them is that Abby got hurt, and she's been out. So, but they're not quitters. They're extremely well coached by Ed, and they're fighters. They're going to do what they do. They're going to play their 2-2-1. They're going to mix up their presses. They're going to do the things that they do. So, they're not. Sport teaches you so much. It doesn't matter what happens. It's unfortunate things that people get injured and things happen throughout the year, but players step up. So. I know he's going to have his team ready, and they're going to be, trying to take one from us on Friday night, and we just have to, again, have our head down and just, win on the road, win on the road. It takes a different level of focus and a different level of consistency to win on the road, and going down there has never been easy, no matter what their situation is. So, we'll definitely be ready by Friday, and then have that quick turnaround again.
And then you have to go out west into the state of Virginia to Harrisonburg, face James Madison. Quick turnaround after facing them just last week. Won there last season, 63-62, I believe it was. Just what do you want to see this time around in making those adjustments and being ready for the full 40 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, now you got to add to that atmosphere on top of it too. So, I mean, we've had experience of that. I mean, the band, they put us nicely, conveniently on the band side. So it'll just be an atmosphere. But, we wanted the atmosphere last year. So, every year's a year, different year, every game's a different game. I mean, I just think what we just, we're going to be doing in that game is just, proving ourselves we can play better. And, so this is the week that we're getting ready, to get ready for 2 games. Obviously, the first one is William & Mary, and we can't surpass that one. So we've got to focus on that, and then, definitely just give a much better performance at their place. Keeping our heads in the game, keeping our mind right in the game. The margin is so small, and sometimes we think it's so large. I mean, even though the game was a few buckets here and there, I think if you ask the players, it felt a little more overwhelming for them. So hopefully that newness is off, and that we can just get out there and do the things that we're capable of doing for Sunday.
She's the head coach of the Hofstra Pride women's basketball team. Coach Steveskey, Coach, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
You've been watching the WB Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com.